Prince brother. So I have a question for the audience. Where does social media come from? Can somebody answer me that question? Where does social media come from? Because I've been on social media since the days of MySpace. And everything was all good. And you could get the little glitter backdrops and, all the butterflies and the starbursts. And, I'll share my recording with you. You hear some of my poetry. I click like on your picture. And there were simpler times back then. And then you had this Facebook to come along. And then from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all of the other ones. But just to the point, what I've observed since we got off of MySpace is the system of records around social media. And for those of you who like to argue and box and talk about what you're gonna do to your baby daddy, and talk about what this person said and what that person did and this politician and these folks over here, you are creating formal records. Not records for me to read, but records that can stand up in a court of law. And when you're talking about liberation movements, the first thing you should be thinking about is liberating yourself and your community, liberating your family. And so I want to speak to the notion of just being strategic, being wise in social media. Because there's a lot that happens that could end up coming back to haunt us in a way that none of us want, right? And the other thing that we need to look at, just as Sister Taj was sharing, the works that aren't being recorded, that aren't being documented, so to speak, are more than likely going to be the most critical work that we don't need to have a record of. When June 2020 happened, and I saw all of our people in the streets, I said, here we go. I knew that it was a curated movement. And it wasn't any of us who curated it. It was others that wanted to place additional targets upon us. I know what it is to walk with these brothers and sisters when there are no cameras on. And I tell you, it's a much freer walk than when they're watching us. So just keep that in mind.